Okay, so the camera cut out as the Nine of Wands flipped out. So here we have Sagittarius energy, we have 9th house energy, we have that Queen of Wands, King of Wands energy here. And it's basically like in the middle, right? We have Aries house, first house here, with the Four of Wands, completion, right? And that happiness with Gemini energy here. Others would put it as Libra, but for me, Gemini. Third house, so first house and third house and 9th house. But these are creating the friction. There's motion here, there's movement here between that Ace of Swords. Aha, here we come back to, now we have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands moving together. They're both in transit together, and this might be why. With Venus working them together, right? The wounded warrior, everything's not as it seems. The long journeys, maybe multiple contracts, fatigue. This would take us back to the Eight of Wands of communication and progress. I want to get one more card for here. This is a complex story. Your Scorpio, your 8th house story. Well, how much does it have to do with sex? But basically knowing, you know everything. So the all-seeing eye of Scorpio is working off another square. Okay, 2 squares. Okay, Scorpio energy itself. So again, that 4th cup, that guide, that soulmate, but possibly that spirit guide coming through. That's 6. So now we have all the 6s, right? We have the 6 of Swords. We have the 6 of Pentacles. We have the 6 of Wands. And now we have the 6 of Cups. And a Scorpio card inside of Scorpio. So the gift, a spiritual gift, a sign, an affirmation, squaring off with proving yourself to everyone. This is like an echo of your 9 of Swords energy. I feel like this Lilith, the Lilith squaring off, creating the friction with your Knight of Cups, your Scorpio, is, you know. So very much there's something to do with, it just looks like there's something to do with romance here, is what it looks like. Now, to what end? Let's see if there's one more card. Because there was a necessary change. We got, so let's see if there's 5 cards for the 5 of necessary change. So far, no. Got 2 squares. Squares crossing. You've got basically 2 collisions that are good. You've got and there's a convergence that needs to happen. Okay, I've got stuck energy here. All right, okay. Yeah. I have a square. If I could just show. This actually landed on the floor this way. 5 of Swords and the 2 of Pentacles. I asked for it and I got it. Becoming a grown-up, but Venus energy, making up your mind, making up your mind. 5 is in the same. Now look at the 5 opposing the 4. This needs to be reconciled to this. So the other needs to be reconciled to the self, because for me this is Libra energy. There's a lot of transformation happening here. This 2 of Pentacles, to get it upright, yeah, it's in opposition to the 3 of Swords. The only thing, well, yeah, no. We could say aloneness versus togetherness, or squaring off with togetherness. Again, what would be accurate, right? These are all we've got opposition here. So having the plan, but no, we've got major intersection in your 8th house. This is gonna hurt. This is not gonna feel comfortable. How could any of this feel comfortable? Oh my God. Ah! Okay, I'm gonna pair them up. Okay. And that, yeah, better put those. Okay. All right. The 3 of Swords is pretty dang clear. All right. So, since so much is going on with your King and Queen of Wands, because they're the only King and Queen we've had on the table so far, your 9th house, where they sit at home. Faith, long journeys, truth, that Ace of Swords, healing, yes, patience, Jupiter, the wheel, allowing for the luck, but almost a puritanical energy, since Jupiter carries, according to Vedic astrology, Jupiter carries a puritanical energy. Difficult for sex. So for me, Libra energy here, others would put it as your energy, Aquarius, but definitely, okay, in opposition to something, not moving. Knight of Swords is very protective, yes. So there could be somebody saying some sharp things. It could be you. Could be somebody's impatient. Somebody fell off their horse. But again, if we have nothing because no cards are coming, because so much is happening in your 8th house, what energy do you have left for 9th? Okay. Something came flying out. Neptune. Same angle as Neptune. Your wish fulfillment. You're careful what you wish for. 12th house. Full communion. Okay, we've got another genius move needs to be made. Got like a 150-degree angle here. Something genius needs to be done in this house. Between what you know and what you believe. Between the truth. Between what you want. No, between... Something to do with your spirit guides. Something to do with that cup. 4, love. Squaring off with the 5 of Cups. Oh, and they said look at the bottom of the deck. Ta-da! When do I stop? Oh, I can't. It just keeps going on. I could just keep going with it. Okay. What were we talking about? All of those contracts with multiple people. Yes. So you've lost some contracts, or some contracts were shit. Right? But you want. You're unhappy, but you want. And you know. You know. Because Ten of Swords, you know. This is where your happiness is, Aquarius. Lots of different kinds of people. Is that really shocking, Aquarius? That's you. However, specifically, healing. Look what you want. You've got 2 pages looking at each other through the 3 of Cups. You want the happiness. You want the look at all this happiness that you want. 2 Knights in reverse. I had to. It bookended. I was like, I can't leave the Knight of Wands back in the deck. Because we've got all that 5th house energy. 5th house. 6th house of like all those contracts. The other. You and the other. These are all in the upright. Upright. Look, I mean, look at how solid that is. One after the other, they all came through. Change, change. Happiness, celebration. And over here, squaring off. It's good. It's like this pain is pushing. It's pushing. And that genius move. I mean, look at the reaction to making the genius move. Boom. All of this comes out. If that's not confirmation of needing to make a genius move in this. Now, exactly how you do that. Right? We all know you need to be prepared for opportunities. There's no mystery to that. There's no magic wand for getting work done. There's just affirmation here, though. Absolutely affirmation here that it's down to multiple. It's down to multiple sources of income. Or multiple, shall we say, multiple contracts. In the creative world. In teamwork, shall we say. In teamwork. Okay. Let's just keep those 10 cups out there. So, what can 10th house and career tell us? Right? What can Saturn, that world, that ending and beginning, what can that Saturn tell us? What can the 10 of Pentacles tell us? The King of Pentacles. Oh, you're right. I'm right. I'm wrong. We did have the King of Pentacles on the table as well. Okay. And of course, we're not going to have, you know, I've got you out there as the signifier, but we've got you on the table as the 9 and the 10. Okay. So for 10th house. Oh, right. Reminder. I like to bring my Kali card out here. Kali. Kali, who brought me into all of this by appearing to me in my home in a lucid dream that will never repeat, I'm sure, but I never had anything else like it. I've had other lucid dreams, yes, but she scared the shit out of me, and it took me about 8 months to figure out that she wasn't a demon. But this is Kali in this deck because of the tongue motif. And so this was the first deck. This was the deck that was used to bring me into tarot. I didn't have any plans of my own to get into tarot, but this deck pulled, well, other events pulled me into it. And then because somebody had this deck, this was the deck that I sort of started to study it with. And it was no accident because she was bringing me in. So for me, it's a very positive card. It is a God card. And why, part of the reason I think of Saturn as female. So your reputation, but also where you aim. Well, now hang on a second. They want me to review where those 10 Pentacles came out. We do have 5th house situations. We do have you as an entrepreneur in the 4th house. And independent in the 4th house. So you could have 4th house work. You could have 3rd house work. You could have 2nd house work. Like, seriously. Where did, yeah, 1st house work. What does 1st house work look like? Ace, 2, 3, 4 of Wands. Because this is signifier of. Okay. I'm going to bear these things in mind. All your own ideas. All your own ideas. Virgo energy, Knight of Pentacles energy. So 6th house energy in progress here. Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady wins the race. And in Virgo, yeah, take what you can. Again, we have Lilith and your magnetisms and your polarities squaring off, creating friction with Knight of Cups. Take what you can, go. Transformation, that intersection, that huge intersection. He's coming, making his way. You're making your way to your reputation, to your career. The 5, 6, 7 of Pentacles. That Ace of Pentacles in your 7th house. Does that mean somebody's coming in or you're doing it? Wow. Virgo again. Okay, so what you do yourself. What you do yourself gets you here, this transformation. So Virgo repeated for me. Complete Virgo. And knowing exactly what you have. So tremendous self-awareness, knowing what you're worth, knowing the worth of what you have, knowing the worth of your work, moving in the same direction. They are conjunct and moving in together. You have to remember what you're worth. You have to remember and that Saturn placement, the world. You know what you know. You know everything. Here we have the 8 of Wands. Okay. The communication that is down. But we could say, here we have a repeat of that quincunx, of that 150-degree angle. Okay. That genius move. But communication is down. But all those because all those contracts are dependent on, right? This is proving yourself to yourself in an 8, right? So all that work, all that belief, all those knowing that in getting around, there's so many people that you're going to need to be able to present yourself to. It's just how it's now the question is, in what context? Interesting. So here we have the Neptune, the Hanged Man repeated with the, you have to be all people to all things. All people, you have to be, yes, empathetic to everybody. The Pisces wears every crown because Pisces can be every house. 12th house can be every house. Pisces can take on the qualities of every sign. So the Queen and King of Water of Cups wear every crown. So chameleon-like, yes, but in a good way. So there's going to be a different way to communicate with each person. And you have to know yourself tremendously well. This wasn't quite square, was it? Because we have that 150 degree. So we have 2 genius things. We have another 150 degree. Yeah, you need to be absolute genius. You need to be a genius in your career house. You need to be adaptable. You need to be ready. Now she speaks with the High Priestess. Yes, the High Priestess speaks to her. So you're going to know, you're going to get messages about, very interesting. Guidance, but very in tune. And Lilith, the High Priestess, squaring off with the Knight of Cups, taking action. So it's like intuitively, but then how to actually create the opportunity for people to know who you are and what you're doing, right? Well, there are only so many answers to that. Being visible. Depends on the context, doesn't it? So let's go to your house. Let's go to house 11. Technology. Uranus and Saturn. The Tower. The World. What do you need to know about your own house? What you do with what you know, right? So go back to 3rd house. But let's say, how do you market yourself? Does everybody come to you, or do you go to everybody? It can work either way with Sagittarius energy. You know, when I was a salesperson, like I ended up with like 100 people in my phone. But not because they wanted what I could sell, but because they wanted to stay in touch with me. Sometimes they wanted my help, yes, with product. Okay, so here we have the necessary change, absolutely, of who and where to put yourself. Very clear there. So Virgo energy again, but the 5, now it's got a bit of work needed, yeah, but it is in motion. And it'll be, you've got everybody helping you with it. Woo! God himself is helping you with it. Male aspect of God, Mars. Let's say your loves and loyalties. For me, that's what Mars is. But again, and then what was I saying about how you go out to protect the wands? Venus in Venus's house, in the second house, your money house, right? Now this was some way, and I can't remember exactly what. Possibly require an ingenious move, but the fact that we have the world there. But mostly I'm looking at this right now, okay? Because the wands were in opposition to, they were moving with her, but they're in opposition to her. So masculine energy versus feminine energy. So going out to protect versus protecting at home, right? So this is about going out. This is about going out. Second house is about receiving. 11th house is about going out towards people. Okay, clarity on that. Clarity on that, and thank you. Yeah, we're going to turn that tide from being to, some things will be about receiving, but some things are obviously, this is about that Ace of Wands energy, that first house energy, and the reconciling, because he rules, again, he's ruling, and then we have all of that intersection in Scorpio. Co-ruler of Scorpio and ruler of Aries. So we have that, yeah, that huge intersection in Scorpio in 8th house. That's why it's so uncomfortable, because you're going to go outside yourself. In a new light. How? What is the sense of direction here? Now the Queen and King of Wands have a sense of direction. So we'll need to go back. Right? Sagittarius has a sense of direction. Okay. Yeah. I caught it in my knees and it's kind of sideways, but it wasn't coming out sideways. Perfect. Your ruler, your own ruler, Uranus. For me, this is very much an Uranus card. For me, the Tower is not like death energy. So I don't equate it. I'm not in the camp. There's a split camps between who equates it with Scorpio, Mars, and Pluto energy, and who equates it with Uranus energy. And I'm the Uranus. Uranus runs my life largely. Everything flipped for me when I was 42, which is part of an Uranus cycle. 21 and 42. But so hugely in 42 that it included a gas station explosion that I caused, okay? Not because I did anything, because I confronted some assholes, okay? And either they did the gas station explosion or Kali did it just to scare the shit out of them. Nobody, the owner was there and his mate, and they got minor injuries, but they're fine. And then he gets to retire because the lone gas station in Erling, Iowa no longer exists. Sorry for kicking the tripod there. But so you have an absolute change, and it's good. Life is going to totally intervene, Aquarius, in how you do this. Nice. 2 major arcana. Anything else for 11th house? Which is echoing that World card. I think you have multiple gifts to give because you have career energy in several houses. So I think it's a complex, I think it's, you've got multiple hats to wear. So it could be a question of multiple careers, yes. not all your eggs are in one basket. Anything else? I guess, oh, something to the floor. Okay. Yes, it was a cycle. Jupiter cycle, Sagittarius cycle. Okay, the wheel turning. The wheel turning. And this is gonna turn it right around. But absolutely, I think this is possibly, and look, we have another genius. Like this is representative of all those genius moves, those genius leaps between those issues that I can't possibly expect you to remember. But the video's here. If you rewind, if you go back and check, then it's always here for you to check in terms of the logistics of what genius moves need to be made between what energies. They're going to happen anyway. They're going to happen anyway. Beautiful. Okay, final house, 12th house. Let's see if we have enough battery for this and enough room on the camera. That would be nice, wouldn't it? The path that you're on, do you stay on this path? Do you go on a new path? So your Lilith placement, your south node, north node. Now again, if we look at that 10 of swords, it's your south node. It's what you're comfortable with. Your north node is the 10 of cups, and that showed up in your 9th house in those multiple contracts. Lunar nodes, yes, that's why I'm thinking of them. And here we have home of the Hanged Man, the Magician, in full power, in that stability that you have in your first house. So you've come full circle. Got nothing to say. Okay. Opposite Virgo. So remember all those oppositions that are being reconciled in you. All those genius leaps that need to be made. That takes a long time, and it's going to be stressful. In that 8th house, the leap is going to be probably scary as hell. We just don't want to talk. 12th house is done. Really? You're using up camera space. Okay, hang on. I went and charged the battery, carved out some room on the camera card, and I was reviewing something for my astrology workbook. I was working on my photo diary for it, and I was going back through sextiles and trines and squares. And I had the trine screwed up in my head with the sextile. So back in your 5th house, I've pulled it out, when I said that you had luck, okay? With this, between, I pulled out your 1st house as well. And I was the angle, this angle between the 3 of Pentacles and your Neptune, your Hanged Man, and your 10 of Pentacles. And that should actually be this way, shouldn't it? I said that you had a trine, and what you really have is a sextile, okay? And we have this 6 of Pentacles affected by it. Your Queen of Wands is there on a slightly different, well, parallel to this 3 of Pentacles, yes. And of course, there you are in your 9 of Swords, proving yourself to everyone, but trying to figure out trying to figure out how to do it. Because it's a sextile, not a trine. It does mean that you have talents and skills there, but with a sextile, there's work required to make it happen, to bring these skills and these talents to fruition. Okay, so that means part of your life you might not know that you needed to struggle with this, and you have struggled with it, but it is an issue, like it is an area of skills and talents for you. I'm going to say between being a muse and potentially whatever Pisces speaks to you for you, wearing all the crowns, being all the houses, right? And they got me to stop. That's why no cards came out for 12th house, because they needed me to review this and get it right. That there was work required, there was development, there were things that needed to be learned, picked up, dots that needed to connect, right? It's affecting your free will. This is my free will card, but also, you know, the fair exchange, your real worth. Yes, Queen of Wands with all your faith here, and looking ahead, like seeing ahead, seeing the plan, right? Having the plan, knowing everything, but at the same time, being stuck, proving yourself to everyone. Why? Because of this sextile here. And it might be in your chart, but it might be just in this, be coming through in this reading. It might show in your chart as something else. It might not be, this would be a Venus, Neptune sextile. It might not be that. It might be a different sextile, right? Everybody's got slightly different, has different charts. Not slightly, different. Absolutely. But the energy, the work is reflected in these two cards. And so I wanted to come back and correct that for 12th house, because we've got such strong 12th house presence here for that, okay? And so that's bringing it back to your 1st house and your 5th house. So between you, in your Wands energy, between you in your 1st house, and possibly how others people affect you, but your core personality, shall we say, and how you want to lead, how you want to express, how you connect with others, how you do work in a team. Yes, the I in team. It needed, there were things that needed to be worked out, probably between I don't know. It would have to do with your Uranus, your uniqueness, your non-conformity. Your non-conformity. What needs to be reconciled, and with all these oppositions needed reconciling. They're complementary. Yes, all the oppositions are complementary. They can't, one can't exist without the other. So one can't develop without the other developing. Okay, so that's what I needed to come back and address. They needed me to do that. She needed me to do that. Kali did. And I'm going to make sure that I put these cards back in the right way. Okay, 1st and 5th, I'll just stick them over here. So now let's see if there's anything finally they want to say for 12th house. Further to that. Something's ready to jump out. There's not much left to say. I'm almost out of cards. Okay. 5th house. 5th house. It's the 5, isn't it? Yes. Again, that change, that necessary change. Knowing who you are. Knowing who you are in the face of what everybody else knows about themselves, yes? Leading back to that stuck 4 of Wands. That stuck self. Because of others. Needing to know yourself separate from others. Twelfth house energy is so filled with the needs of others. Yeah. Is that it then? Leo energy. 5th house energy. Blood echoing all your wands. No, nothing else coming through. Nothing. I'll try one more time. Okay? No, not a whole paragraph. Okay, last time. Okay. Yes. You, them. Deciding and waiting. There's complementary. Squaring off. The choosing, the waiting, and yes, the waiting and the deciding. The balance between those. There needs to be a balance between waiting. So you don't want to wait too long, and you don't want to choose too fast. 2 and 3 equals 5. Squared off with the 5. Coming and going, but mostly again the complementary oppositions, and then squared off. So butting. So the push is between them and you, getting you moving. In your 12th, all of this 1st and 5th house fire in your 12th. Doing the right thing. Doing the right thing between what you want, what they want. What about what God wants? But then you have to own yourself. At the bottom of the deck. 7 of Wands. Transformation. Leo. Yep, well, with that 3 of Pentacles, with those collaborations with Venus and Lilith, doing what they can. So remember the sword, then the wand. So the truth and the evidence and the justice, and then the desire, and then the pentacles. So the balance between what you want and the non-conformity. Yeah. Deciding, Jonah. That Ace of Wands in your 2nd house. Yeah, the 2 aces. Starts in the world. That Cup. The spiritual and... So the difference between what you believe and what others believe. Holding your ground. Becoming what you believe. You know everything. The balance. Yes. So that's where we have the 6 of Wands in reverse. It's in your 4th house. Yeah, you have multiple careers. You have multiple careers. So if we look at there's a lot to do. There's a lot of different things to do. You have career energy in many houses. And therefore the time that it took with that sextile, yes, for your destiny, for your Neptune of to coordinate. The coordination that's happening in your 8th house. This whole reading is so full of coordinations, of reconciling things. I think it's going to feel rough for a while. Till everything is, you know. It's a lot. It's a lot, isn't it? Where's the comfort? Where's the comfort? Where were those 3? Ah, no, we know. Where's the comfort? We know. Where did all that incredible positivity come? Yeah. And here we have Earth, but in your 9th house, right? Queen of Wands. Rely on your Queen of Wands. Go from that to that. Wait a minute, where did all those cups go? God damn. There. Right? Oh yeah. Oh, hang on. Okay, I'm just gonna take these then. Did the 2 of Pentacles belong in there? Probably. But here's the comfort, right? In your 9th house. In getting those contracts. In working in all those different places. In getting yourself out there. Okay? The comfort is out there. They know it. 9th house knows it. It's about faith and truth and long journeys, but it's about, you know, so you're going to get your affirmation from God and guides. You already have it. You already have it. You already know. If we look at that south node, the 10 of Swords, okay, you're comfortable in what you know. You're comfortable in 3rd house. You're comfortable in learning. And now you have to work towards your North node. And that's why so much of the Wands energy. That's why. It's why your North node is in Wands. It's in your King and Queen of Wands. And so, because it's in your King and Queen of Wands, right? You're heading towards your North node, Aquarius. That's what it is. Whoops, sorry. That's what it is. You're going through all of this with your Wands because your North node is in Sagittarius. It's with your King and Queen of Wands. So that's why you're going through all of this Wand stuff. You're heading towards your North node. You always were, but you're basically there. You're there. All right, Aquarius, we got there. I feel clarity about it now. And I hope you do too, if you manage to stick with me this far. And I'll be back with a normal reading in a week or two. Much love and thank you for this. Thank you. I've learned lots. Okay. Bye.